Well, welcome back to another episode of the Cruise Conversations podcast. I'm Michael.
And I'm Frank.
And today's episode is episode number 75, and we're going to be going over some Black Friday deals going into this Thanksgiving season. Let's jump into it.
All right, we're back. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. For Michael and I, we're just super grateful that we get to do this. It's such a fun hobby, and we just are so grateful and thankful for everyone who listens to this podcast week in, week out. 75 weeks ago, this was just like a fun idea that we had, and we're super grateful that I think we're almost at 50,000 plays, coming up on 50,000 plays. So that's just like crazy that 50,000 times someone has decided to come and listen to us talk about cruising, which is our favorite topic. And so we're really, really excited to go through, like Michael said at the top, just some deals and just some best practices again with this time of year. And it's funny, Michael, like we were talking, we've done like the wave season too, like some of the wave season deals, but I feel like these Black Friday deals are like just like wave season deals that start in November. And then you can see like with a lot of them that we're going to talk about, they go into Christmas, they go into January, February, like they may stop for a little bit, but a lot of them will continue into January, February. And the thought is that like, this is the time of year when you're with your families, right? Like you're talking about trips. Oh, let's go to Italy. Let's go to Alaska. Let's do, the Caribbean. I want to go to Aruba. Like this is when you're with your family. So it is a really good time to just start the conversation, talk about cruises. And so we're going to do that today and go through some of the deals as well as some of those, what we call tips, tricks, best practices, whatever you want to call it. But before we do that, Michael, we do have some cruise news. So why don't you throw us into the cruise news segment today?
So jumping into cruise news today, one of the biggest things that happened this week, Frank, was the Disney Treasure arriving in its home port of Port Canaveral and having its big christening ceremony. I had a couple of friends text me and they're like, oh, we want to hear Cruise Conversations thoughts on the ceremony they had the other night. And I mean, Disney did a great job with the ceremony. I mean, they had Jordan Sparks there singing. I mean, it started with like an intro video. It had like Walt kind of talking over parts of the ship. I mean, obviously it was a super old video of Walt, and at some point it like cuts to the video of him talking and it's like black and white. I don't know. It was super neat. They bring Jordan Sparks out. She's singing. The ship's in the background. I mean, it's nighttime. They did a big drone show in the background, which featured a bunch of different, drone images or whatever you want to call it, projections of some different movies that are going to be found on the ship. So you had like the genie from Aladdin. You had Madame Leota from The Haunted Mansion. You had Miguel from Coco with like his guitar and his dog. And then obviously it kind of closed with Moana, which a lot of these, like I said, are some of like the main, themes on the ship. And then it ended with like a big champagne bottle kind of breaking.
They smash it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the ceremony itself was super cool, but now also, I mean, people are on the ship now. Photos are coming out, videos are coming out of, I saw some like comparison photos of like the concept art versus what it looks like, and Disney did a great job with these venues. I mean, if anything, a lot of these venues look even better than the concept art they had posted. But, some of the venues I'm super excited for that pictures have come out for is Plaza de Coco, which I think is kind of replaced like the Frozen restaurant on some of the ships. So they have 2 seatings a night. They have like a mariachi band that comes out. They have like some of the details from the movie. So like the ofrenda that's at his house and kind of just some of the decorations there. Obviously, we've talked about the Haunted Mansion parlor on the past couple episodes. And then the Periscope pub, super cool. This is based on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is a super old movie from like the 50s. And like the ride even closed at Magic Kingdom before we were even born. But, it's cool to kind of see them take something from the past and kind of,
revitalize it. Yeah.
Yep. Here in the future, or now in current day on the cruise ship. So, yeah, I mean, the inaugural sailing's coming up December 21st. It's going to be doing some 7-night sailings to the Eastern and Western Caribbean. And yeah, I mean, it'll be super cool to just continue to see stuff come out from the ship.
Dude, I actually stumbled upon a video this week that was like the horns of the ship as well for the Disney Treasure, like a full video montage of like all the different horns. I guess they ran through them during like a testing, but it was really cool. I mean, that's like, these things are just like what sets Disney Cruise Line apart. And I do feel like while they have some things tailored for children, a lot of the shows and stuff and families, like they still do have like cool adult bars. They're like trying to do a lot for our age group as well, right? Because they know that like we're going to start having kids and we're going to go on Disney and they want us to have something for us versus you go on another cruise line and they do tailor to both, right? So I think Disney's kind of stepping it up with the bars and the themed areas, but trying to create opportunities for adults to engage as well, which is really cool. Our next piece of news is Norwegian unfortunately canceled 40 cruises from November 2025, so next year, all the way through April 2026. Obviously, this is a bit farther out, so it's not like if you're on one of these cruises, it's really you're able to go ahead and rebook something probably at this point. But it's Jewel, Dawn, and Star are the 3 cruise ships that they did cancel the 40 cruises for. For the Star, this impacts all of the South America and Antarctica season. And then, Norwegian is obviously doing things to compensate. They're doing a full refund plus 10% future cruise credit. Look, maybe that's a little low, but, Norwegian's had some issues with this in the past. They definitely have a history of canceling cruises like this. So it doesn't come as like a complete shock. I've really not seen this on other cruise lines. Like I've not really heard a ton about Carnival Cruise Line or Royal canceling. There's obviously ad hoc things where, maybe they'll cancel for a charter or they'll basically shut it off the website so no one else can go and book those cruises. But Norwegian's definitely, when you go into Reddit and you go onto the blogs, you do hear people complaining that this happens more frequently with Norwegian than other cruise lines. So just a piece of news. Again, if you are impacted, probably a good time now to go ahead and start getting another cruise on the books.
All right, well, the last piece of news we have here today, it's kind of exciting, kind of sad. Mike Pack, who has been a cruise director for Carnival for, I think, over 13 years at this point. He's most recently been the fleet cruise director. Just announced he's retiring from Carnival. I think just as of the day of recording this yesterday, they had a big, end of year Carnival meeting thing, and they kind of announced at the company that he was going to be retiring. I actually sailed with him on the Mardi Gras years ago. He started on the Horizon, and then when Mardi Gras became the flagship, was the cruise director on that. And then eventually moved, like I said, into the fleet cruise director role, which he's kind of helped oversee and support all the Carnival cruise directors. And so he announced he's going to be moving back home to England to be with his family. And yeah, he was an awesome cruise director when I sailed with him. Obviously one of Carnival's top cruise directors. And obviously, you see the promotion he moved into, how much he's respected there at the company. And then actually recently, Lee Mason just recently moved into the role too. So they've kind of been working together. And now he's going to be the fleet cruise director, which Lee, I was supposed to sail with on Celebration a couple years ago. But it was a year they do a big cruise director summit thing once a year. And all the cruise directors go. So I had a backup one for that day. But yeah, obviously cruise directors play a pretty big role in Carnival. A lot of them have their own following and sayings and all of that and social media presence and all that. But yeah, congrats to Mike. And I hope you enjoy retirement and enjoy time with your family back home in England.
Exactly. It is a big commitment, right? At the end of the day, they're gone for so long. So it is nice to celebrate.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe he'll come back on a ship and do some sort of a homecoming, not for work, but just to come and interact with, guests, future past guests at a party or, an event or a new ship launch or even Celebration Key. It'd be cool to see them bring back some of these people. So pretty cool. And congrats, like you said, to Mike and all of his years of being a Carnival cruise director.
And speaking of Carnival, one last little bit of news, Frank. They announced that in 2026, over 10 sailings, they're going to be doing a kind of salute to America's 250th birthday on some of the sailings.
That's pretty cool. I wonder, there'll be fireworks and stuff. Have they talked about what's all going to entail and everything?
I don't know about fireworks, but I know they said there's going to be some different ship meetups on the ships, some unique patriotic experiences, some special food options and drink options, and I think they said each ship will have a patriotic birthday theme, deck party type stuff. So yeah, not a lot of details is out yet. They've kind of started to announce some of the ships it's going to be on and some of the sailings itself, but could be cool to look into. And I think most all of them are going to be meeting up near Celebration Key, in the ocean. So that'll
pretty
be cool to see all these ships together celebrating our country's birthday.
And Carnival's colors are perfect. They are red, white, and blue, right? So I'm sure they can do some things with decor that is both Carnival and red, white, and blue. So that's pretty awesome. Maybe we'll have to look into that one.
Yep, yeah, because I know most sailings, anyways, they do meetups in the Heroes Lounge for veterans and all that as well. So I'm sure they'll have like a big veteran presence on these sailings.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's another good piece of news. If you're looking at Celebration Key and looking to celebrate America, 250 years. That's crazy. So that will be sailing 2026 in July. So pretty cool there.
Well, hey, before we jump into the main topic here today, just one other thing. Like we said, Thanksgiving this week, we're super thankful for all of y'all, too, as listeners tuning into this podcast each week. Make sure if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube yet, you go subscribe there. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, TikTok, really anywhere we post. It really helps us just continue to get the word out of this podcast each week. And yeah, that's just our goal, to continue to reach new people and talk cruises with y'all.
Also shout out Cruising Bear, last week's episode. Just really thankful for him coming on. He's done a lot of episodes with us, and clearly you guys enjoy having him on our podcast as well, because we see you're listening and you're interested in celebrity and princess. So we're gonna try to bring more of that content as well in the future, and hopefully get him on more. So as well as if you're cruising on one of these lines that we don't talk about, I know we got Disney coming up. We got someone who wants to come on and talk Disney, MSC, princess, celebrity. So you're going on one of these lines that we haven't been on or don't have as much sailing experience on. Love to have you come on as well. So just make sure you reach out to us. We can start the conversation there. But Michael, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Are you a big Black Friday shopper typically?
I feel like I was when I was growing up. I feel like I was always like checking to see which store had like Madden or 2K or like the latest version of that game, the cheapest, and would kind of go get that. And I'd always look at like the video game consoles and all that. But nowadays I feel like most of it's moved online, and the sales last much longer than just Black Friday. But I think there'll always be kind of like that nostalgia of Black Friday, though. Like, you finished up your Thanksgiving dinner, you're quickly like looking through the ads to figure out where you're waiting. People would wait in lines for hours for the cheap massive TVs and all of that, whether at Target or Best Buy. We would go to the mall, right? I think we went to South Park a couple times.
Yeah.
I think Black Friday just always has that nostalgic feeling of being out late shopping.
I know now as an adult, like I feel like because we grew up, we would go do like some shopping after Thanksgiving dinner. I feel weird now, like not doing it, but then I'm also like, it's just like nicer to not have to, like, you can sit and get these deals on your phone or on, just online on Cyber Monday. So it is something. And a lot of these deals have been going on. Like we're talking about these discounts today, but a lot of them have already started and are the same deals that you could have gotten like November 10th that you're going to be able to get on Black Friday. So yeah, and we have seen, so let's go into our tips and tricks, but we have seen a lot of that this year, like where, people are marking up things and then saying like, oh, 50% off, right? Like, no. It's not 50% off. It's just that you raise the price. Like you were texting me about Royal and the Hideaway Beach Club, and you're like, this was before they released Black Friday. You're like, oh my gosh, dude, it's $100 to go to Hideaway Beach Club on our sailing. I'm like, I guarantee you that this is like them just raising the price right before, and yep, sure enough, $100, and then like 5 days later, 50% off and $53, whatever. I'm like, okay, who in their right mind is paying like $100 for this? If you're listening and you're like, I want to go to Hideaway Beach, do not pay $100 for that experience. It's just not worth it. But
and if you did pay $100, this goes into one of the tips. You can cancel it and rebook it, right? So when you see that new rate, if you paid $100, don't just forget about it. Always be checking back in with whatever the current rate is to get you the best deal. Because like you said, when I wasn't even thinking Black Friday or anything when I logged into the account and saw the $100, my mind just went, man, this thing really jumped from when we were there earlier this year. And then kind of, like you said, you were like, just give it a couple days. And you were right.
Yeah.
It dropped right down, said 50% off, $50 or whatever it was. So, for any add-ons, right? If always be price checking throughout the process all the way up to your cruise to get you the best deal you can.
Yeah. And that's a great tip, because I feel like we've both have saved, hundreds of dollars of drink package costs, excursion costs. Like I said, it's these companies are just trying to make as much money as they can. And when, the demand is low, they'll, lower the price to get more people to buy. And so, that's something that you and I have to talk about this week, because we're getting ready for our cruise in January, and there's a lot of deals out there. on drink packages and stuff. So especially with Royal, this is probably some of the best pricing. I mean, I've seen across a lot of blogs. If you go on, Matt's RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, whatever, you can see that he's even saying it. And he's like, the Royal expert for that line. He's basically saying that this is the best, best deals he's seen in a while for Black Friday. So that's just a reminder that, go get those prices and go get those drink packages. They're doing some really cool things this year, though. They're doing, like, for Diamond, they're doing like an extra discount, which for me is like cool because never have I ever seen. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen $60 drink package prices. It's always like $70 something a day. So that's nice that they're doing that for the Diamond. And then they're also doing some bundling of the drink package with Wi-Fi and different things. So go check those out if you are booked on a Royal cruise in the next couple of years. But yeah, that's a good first tip. Make sure that you're always doing that price check, especially this time of year when things start to drop. The other tip that we had, one of the other tips that we had was that, if you are already booked and you're not like looking for a new cruise, you can also still reprice your cruise. And even if it's past final payment, reach out to your travel agent, text them and say, hey, saw price dropped, whatever. Sometimes they can still get you, if you have a good travel agent, they can get you extra onboard credit and things. So just a reminder, check the price, even if you are booked. If it's past final payment date, you may not get like a reprice. You may get onboard credit, but if you're before final payment date, you'll definitely be able to reprice. And that's kind of like the tip, right? And that goes beyond this tip, but like make sure you're booking your cruise, not just waiting till Black Friday. We gave this example last week that, someone was texting me, oh, I saw a really good deal. It was over $4,000 for like the website price for a balcony on Oasis of the Seas or whatever. Our price was like $2,800. So like that is like that price that we've had hasn't changed. It has nothing to do with Black Friday.
Yeah.
So the Black Friday price is $4,000. Our price is $20,000. So like if you're using a travel agent, just don't wait until Black Friday. To Michael's point, like you can always reprice your cruise during this time of year, especially if you are before final payment date. So I feel like that's just a good reminder because there's a lot of people that kind of sit on the sidelines and are like, oh, I'm going to wait till the Black Friday. But honestly, like just book it and you can always get that lower deal,
Yeah, Frank, that's a great point about that group rate on Oasis of the Seas. Actually this week, Royal released a bunch of new sailings going through 2027, and we actually reserved a bunch of group rates for Icon and Star of the Seas, like we said, going through 2027. A lot of, around some of the holidays, we have group rates, like 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So if you're looking to sail on Icon or Star, like we said, throughout 2026, 2027, reach out to us because, like we said, that group rate we have will be locked in now and will be the cheapest rate that sailing will pretty much ever be.
Yeah. Good point, Michael. I forgot about that. We spent like a few hours going through and picking out the days, and I know we may have a group cruise. I'm not going to get ahead of myself quite yet on the dates yet. I don't want to drop any preliminary information before I run it through my wife, but no, that's a good point. If you are looking at those, we've got some good rates, and those are, like you said, they're not going to probably go any lower, and that's all the way out to like 2027. So pretty cool.
Yeah. So like I said, if these interest you, make sure to reach out to us. You'll probably see us post about these on social media moving forward and really kind of just start to promote them. And now speaking of promotions, like we said, we're going to kind of go through what some of the different cruise lines are already currently offering, right? Some of these are already pre-Black Friday deals, are going to be offered throughout Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and some of these throughout the rest of the year. So starting with Virgin is going to be doing an 80% off cruise fares and up to a $400 in bar tabs if you're booked by the end of January, which is great because, we've kind of mentioned in the past, Virgin's kind of decreased the amount of value you're getting in the bar tab. So, I mean, when you look at all these deals too, you're kind of seeing what you're getting for free, right? Like we said, some of the the cruise fare prices, yeah, it says 80% off, but they probably increased it a little to bring it back down. So, like you said, getting based on your room category up to $400 in free bar tab money, that's great.
Yeah, that's tangible money that you can spend on drinks, which is awesome. Royal is doing a buy one get one 60% off. They're doing 30% off the third and fourth guests and like a triple or quadruple occupancy. Kids Sail Free, which I feel like they're doing year round now anyways on Kids Sail Free, which is really, really nice, actually. And then some instant savings, I think up to like $750 or something. But this runs all the way until December 9th. And then we already kind of talked about the bundling and different things on the cruise planner. And I feel like from what I'm seeing on the website prices, the cruise planner discounts are better than the website, the cruise fares themselves.
Now moving on to Celebrity, like we said, we had Jeremy on the podcast last week, and we talked about his experiences on Celebrity. This is a line we may eventually look at, Frank. I think both of us are real interested in potentially sailing Celebrity here in the future. They're going to be doing progressive discounts starting now, getting better and better up until November 29th, December 1st timeframe, where they're going to be offering $400 off a double occupancy stateroom and $800 off a quad occupancy stateroom.
Yeah, Michael, I know I'm looking forward to sailing on Celebrity. We actually quoted, I think Ashley reached out from the podcast. Shout out to you, Ashley, for, a Celebrity cruise. And you see some good deals, right? 4 nights for around, I think it was like $900 for 2 people in an ocean view room, no balcony, but that's still like a good price. The only thing with Celebrity is when you add in like the drinks as well, it gets a little bit pricier because, like to Jeremy's point, it's not like Princess where they have like the Princess Plus, Princess Premier, so the drinks can get a bit pricier. But there are some good deals out there that I'm definitely looking at for next year on Celebrity. So now let's go to Carnival, right? So Carnival, they run a lot of these deals similar to Royal. Like they do run a lot of these deals year round, but they are bringing back $50 a person deposits, up to $950 off per room, which is substantial, and $50 onboard credit. So that's not even counting like the onboard credit that we can add as travel agents to the booking. So that's really nice. So $50 from Carnival, $50 from, or not $50, but more from us as well. That kind of tags onto that. And then there are some upgrades as well, Michael, that like if you book an interior room like this, they pay for like upgrades as well, right?
Yeah, because like you said, when you're looking at like an interior room based on where it is on the ship, or not every interior is the same, right? So, based on like where it is on the ship, they will bump you up four category levels pretty much. So when you look at like a ship map and you're looking at like different categories of the rooms, when you're on their website, you'll pretty much see, hey, this is the price, but we're bumping you up to 4
it is
up.
Carnival has a lot of categories, like compared to like other cruise lines out there. Like there's a lot. Like when you look at interior, there's like what, like 5 to 6 different categories maybe.
Yeah, I think they kind of just name it differently than like other lines too, that are like, oh, like spacious interior versus interior.
Yeah,
where there's just kind of just like interior, but it's like 4A or 4B, 4C, like that type thing. And then moving to one of Carnival's other lines, Princess, they're doing up to 50% off your cruise fare, 50% off the deposits, and then free 3rd and 4th guests on select sailings. Which this is great, Frank, because this isn't even just kids. This is anybody.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, if you have teenagers or, like I said, that are maybe out of that kid sail free range on Royal. I mean, like we've kind of mentioned, Princess isn't really tailored for kids and kind of teenagers, but I mean, like Jeremy said last week, it's still a great option.
Yeah, maybe we need to look at this one, Michael, too. Write this one down for us personally. The next line that we want to look at was Disney, and honestly, like Disney just never discounts anything. So I was actually surprised to see that they had some discounts going on, but like, dude, there's just rarely discounts on Disney parks. I mean, it's just, they always are charging just what their prices are going up, not down. So that's just how
they don't need to run deals. People will book Disney no matter what, just
seriously.
based on the brand recognition.
Dude, it's crazy. But they actually do have some select sailings, so not everything, but 25% off select sailings out of Port Canaveral and in Fort Lauderdale for the Wish and the Dream. Again, it just kind of depends on the dates, but they do have some discounts. I believe some of them are in Jan, Feb. So if they're trying to get rid of some of those rooms where they've got extra rooms coming up in the next quarter or so. But yeah, it's funny that you just don't see like Disney doing like the same kind of situations as these other lines, but we just threw them in there just to be funny about it.
Next, we got Norwegian. They're doing 50% off the first and second passengers on the sailing. And then their takeoff free offers pretty much. So, your beverage package, your specialty dining, Wi-Fi minutes, their ShoreX credits, you get all that rolled up for free. And kids also sail free on select sailings.
Yeah, Norwegian's another one that is always running that take all for free kind of discount, right? And those are great things.
Free at sea.
Free at sea. If you are like one of those people that wants a drink package and Wi-Fi and some specialty dining, that's a great deal for you and the family. The last one that we wanted to go through is MSC, which again, they are honestly, when someone comes to us and they are like asking for last minute deals or just like the cheapest fare, it's usually MSC out of Port Canaveral or Miami. And, we've talked about maybe not recommending like some of the ships, but we have good intel about the seashore and seaside being, tailored more towards the American market. So those are ones we probably be a little bit more comfortable recommending to our clients, but they are doing $250, up to $250 onboard credit on the cruise fares only, and then up to $400 onboard credit when you're doing kind of their discounted cruise plus, like their beverage package fares, more of their all-inclusive fares. So yeah, that's MSC.
Yeah, also just wanted to point out, Frank, when I was sailing MSC earlier this year, they had a package that rolled up your Wi-Fi and drink package and an onboard credit beforehand. As of lately, they've just been doing the drink package with that, but right now they did roll Wi-Fi back in. So that's one thing to note. I mean, I know I personally don't get Wi-Fi normally on a cruise, but I mean, like I said, it was free last time. It was rolled in and it was nice to have. So like I said, that's another option to look into to save a lot of money on your drink package and Wi-Fi, rolling that in from the start.
Yeah, like you said, that's probably a couple $100 per person that you're saving, especially if you're going with kids that are going to be on their phones or texting their friends. I think it's a good deal.
I think for a 7-night right now, it was about $250 more for the drink package and Wi-Fi.
Okay, that's serious saving. So if you are looking like in the shorter term, and we may not have discounts on the other lines because it's like last minute deals or a couple months out, it could be a good time to try MSC right now while it's still kind of in that growing phase. And like you said, you've been on MSC. We did a whole episode on it. Cruising Bear's been on there as well. So we've got some, and we're bringing on other people to talk about MSC, but specifically the seashore and the seaside are the ones that we would say we're comfortable with recommending at this time. Probably wouldn't expand past that list until we see a little bit more consistency with MSC. But yeah, overall, those are our current kind of deals across some of the various lines. There's hundreds of cruise lines out there. So we just kind of covered kind of the top ones for the U.S. market. But if you're interested in any of these deals, make sure you reach out to us. We'd love to help you. Again, we can add onboard credit to any of these sailings. So you can text us at 704-313-8556, or you can reach out to us via email at cruiseconversations@gmail.com. And I believe there is a jot form in the bio of this episode that you can click and fill out with more information and kind of the questions that we're going to ask you anyways when you text us of what kind of room do you want, what date. So, maybe easier to start with the jot form too. But yeah, this was a fun one. I know that everyone's probably getting ready for some turkey. So as this episode comes out, I know I'm going to be working on my turkey, getting that thing nice and salted up and ready for the grill. So hopefully all of you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Make sure you take advantage of some of these Black Friday deals and get some of those cruise planner discounts. And we will see you back here next Wednesday.